Hey, what's up everybody? Steve Schwartz here from LSAT Unplugged, joining you today to share how long you should study for the LSAT. Before I get into it, I wanted to let you know that I've put together a free easy LSAT cheat sheet linked below this video to help you get started with your LSAT prep, so check that out for more. Now, students are always asking me, how long should I study for the LSAT? How many weeks? How many months? How many hours per day? How many hours per week? I'm going to break it all down for you right here, right now. In my experience, students typically want to spend about 2 to 3 months to prep for the LSAT. But in my experience, it typically takes 5 to 6 months in order to reach your fullest potential on the test. A lot of your traditional prep courses were set up such that you would take them starting 2 months prior to your test date, meet once or twice a week for 3 to 4 hour long classes, and that would carry you through all the way to your LSAT test day. Those traditional classes, of course, were prior to the pandemic. Since then, everything's moved online. You could take online courses from home for as short as 1 week or 1 month duration. So now students are a lot more open-ended in their prep, which I think is a good thing because now it's not fixed to a set duration typically, but rather you can take the prep course and study for the LSAT until you feel ready to go ahead and take it. Also, the LSAT is now offered nearly every single month. Back when I first started studying for this exam and teaching it, it was offered only 4 times a year. So now you can take the LSAT nearly every single month. As I record this video now in the very end of May, we have an LSAT coming up in June, then August, September, October, and November, all this calendar year. You could take any of those exams and apply perfectly early this cycle. So I do recommend, as I said, taking 5 to 6 months to study to achieve your fullest potential on the test, assuming that you are studying for the LSAT from scratch. Now, in my experience, the typical student will improve approximately 5 points after completing 10 practice tests, after completing roughly 1,000 LSAT questions. In my view, that's not a great return on your investment. Rather, if you can increase the efficiency of your prep, you could instead improve 10 points for completing 10 exams or roughly 1,000 LSAT questions. That's a far better return on your time. Now, how do you increase the efficiency of your prep? The number one way with my students that I use is called the Socratic review method. It is a technique, a framework for helping you pinpoint exactly which tricks and traps you are uniquely prone to falling for in the LSAT questions. So if you take logical reasoning, for example, you may have a difficult stimulus, a confusingly worded question stem, or difficult answer choices, tempting wrong answers, unappealing right answers. And so for these answer choices, you want to figure out exactly what made the wrong answer choice tempting and what ultimately makes it wrong, and what makes the right answer choice unappealing and what ultimately makes it correct. So you have these traps of discouragement away from the right answer and traps of encouragement towards the wrong answer. If you review in depth every question you get wrong and every question you have difficulty with, you can then, as I said, increase the efficiency of your prep because you will be getting far more value out of all the questions that you complete. If on top of that, you keep a log or a journal of all the questions that gave you trouble and all the key takeaways you got, the insights you got from reviewing those questions in depth, and you return to that log frequently, you will then be able to answer future LSAT questions much more quickly because the tricks and traps that you were prone to falling for in the past will be top of mind and you will be more primed to spot those tricks and traps. So again, you increase the efficiency of your prep by reviewing in depth, using the Socratic review method, keeping a log of your mistakes. By doing so, you can improve on average 10 points for every 1,000 questions completed rather than only 5 points. So you are doubling the efficiency of your prep, which means that you may not need the full 5 to 6 months for your prep like the typical student to reach your fullest potential, but rather instead, you might be able to do it in only 3 to 4 months instead, shortening your LSAT timeline and taking the LSAT sooner. So if you adopt the framework I've laid out here and you are considering the August or September LSAT, if your summer isn't too busy, you may be able to get there in time. And if you would like my support preparing for the LSAT, I'm looking for a couple of students who are aiming to achieve a 170 plus on the LSAT later this year. I do have a couple of criteria I'm looking for, though, in the students I work with. In particular, I'm looking for students who have put in a couple months already into their prep, have developed a strong foundation in the basics of the exam, the different sections, and the different question types, and students who have already achieved a score of 160 or above on at least one timed practice test. If you meet these criteria, if you're aiming for a 170 plus, I'd love to hear from you. Check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out. And if you found this video helpful, please do me a favor, like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It really helps with that YouTube algorithm, and I really do appreciate it. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.